Welcome to your Research Business Daily Report on this day before the last long weekend of summer 2012. When you think of polling, a few select names immediately come to mind, and right at the top of that list is John Zogby, with whom we had a brief conversation a few days ago. As you look at trying to do presidential polling in 2012 versus 2008, is it more complex than it was before?
Yes, it is.
And what are the factors, the variables that need to be taken into account that are different now than 4 years ago?
Technology and demographics. Technology, the growing number of cell phone only households, which has grown exponentially over the last 4 years, will grow exponentially over the next 4 years. But it's also harder to reach people on cell phones or to conduct more than a 15 or 20 question interview on cell phones. So that in itself is a problem. Demographics, you do have growth and shifting demographics that you have to try to capture in your sampling.
What about things like young people and voter ID laws?
Well, the young people, that comes under the demographics issue. And whether or not, how many are going to turn out, let alone who they're going to vote for. In terms of voter ID laws, this is kind of new territory for pollsters. When we had unfortunate poll taxes and grandfather's clauses and so on, we weren't doing kinds of polling, that we're doing today. But suffice it to say that it could have an impact, obviously, particularly with poor people and minorities, and poor young minorities in particular.
What's your attitude as a very long respected veteran of the industry about the different ways that your competitors, your friends, choose to do their polling?
It's a highly competitive industry, and so the more the merrier, and the differing methodologies, the better. It's okay. Everybody can be represented, from those who, are, say, much more orthodox and much more establishment in their polling, to those who try to be innovative. I think what we need to do is have a sense of mutual respect, and not the definition of hard and fast ways of my way or the highway. This is the only way a good polling can be done. I think that the competition is actually a healthy thing.
If in a battleground state they oversample Democrats, let's say by 9%,
by 9 points,
Obama comes out in that poll as being 10%, 12%, 8% ahead, whereas the same poll maybe 4 weeks ago, Obama was ahead 3% or 4%. Really, doesn't that indicate a bias or no?
It could. A sampling bias, not necessarily a pollster bias. This is one of the disagreements, that I have with my colleagues. Others, more establishment pollsters, seem to think of party identification as a very fluid thing that can change, and even change rapidly. I don't. I see party identification changing, but I see it over an epical stage, as opposed to a moment by moment, month by month stage.
Right. Especially right now, where everybody seems to think the independents are going to be the difference makers in the election.
They are. That's one of the shifts that we're watching.
Thanks, John. In RBDR News Notes, IDC reported overall video conferencing industry revenues were down 6.9% in the first quarter of this year, and down another 10% in Q2. However, we asked the leading research video conference agency, Focus Vision, about whether it had similar results, and it said its sales were much stronger. Marketing VP Tim Lynch told us Focus Vision revenues were up in the first quarter and even higher in the second quarter. Finally, Brandon Bailey of the San Jose Mercury News reported that Google is soliciting software experts to apply for a special team of quote-unquote back-end ninjas who are focused on spotting and resolving user privacy issues. Bailey quoted observers who said they're uncertain if this is even a new team for Google, much less a new emphasis on privacy. That's your Research Business Daily Report. We hope you have a terrific Labor Day weekend and look forward to seeing you all again on Tuesday.